What if you had a simple communications framework to implement and follow for building a modern employer brand for your organization? What if you could remove the stress and anxiety of not knowing exactly what needs to be done to achieve your desired employer brand perceptions and start building a talent pool from brand followers to advocates and from advocates to recruitment leads? What if I could give you this framework and help you plan and execute, as planning is not enough to build an employer brand? We can all plan all we can, but nothing changes unless we implement and execute. No results will be delivered. We gain no value from all the planning we've done unless we implement and execute. Hey, tell me, which one are you? Are you a planner who needs someone to keep you accountable for the execution? Or would you execute if someone just helped you to plan first? I've got great news for you. What you are about to learn from this episode will help you no matter if you are a planner or an executor. Are you ready to get going with today's episode of the Building a Modern Employer Brand podcast? My name is Susanna Rantanen, and I'm known as the pioneer of employer branding in my native Finland. My husband and I own the employer branding agency Emine, and our agency has been recognized as one of the top 10 employer branding agencies in Europe. And this was because of the framework and the method that I'll tell you about today. The modern employer branding framework goes by the name of Magnetic Employer Branding Method, and it includes the strategic framework that outlines your key strategic decisions and goals for your employer brand, and the strategic employer brand communication plan designed in an easy-to-implement employer brand marketing content plan. These are suitable for organizations that prefer to separate short-term recruitment campaigns from the long-term employer branding. And for those organizations where talent acquisition is responsible for employer branding, our method has another framework, and this is the Instant Employer Brand Accelerator framework that combines recruitment marketing and communication with employer brand marketing, accelerating your employer brand recruitment process by recruitment process. Both types of modern employer branding frameworks apply content and social media marketing in the effort of growing awareness, building your employer brand affinity, and converting specified business value from all of your marketing efforts. I want to talk to you about the difference between what I call the traditional or the conventional employer branding and then the modern employer branding. So over 2 decades ago, when I started working with employer branding and recruitment marketing in my in-house HR role, employer branding was literally nothing more than just a little bit more expensive recruitment marketing campaign or an ad on a Sunday newspaper. Can you believe that? I mean, I can't believe that I'm that old and that's what my work was once about. But the purpose of that old way was to get more applications, get more attention, get more awareness for the recruitment needs so that the company could get more applications. There was nothing else to do. There was employer branding in the form that it is today. It didn't really exist. I remember years later when we still didn't have social media that my boss would tell me let's put a bigger advert on the Sunday newspaper once a year so that we can build our employer brand. So that was literally employer branding back in those days. Now, many organizations unfortunately continue to believe that what employer branding is today is literally just an extended employer recruitment marketing campaign. Or that once that you have set out your EVP, your employee value propositions, you'll design a modern career site and then you create a few recruitment videos and other recruitment campaign content, and that's employer branding done. I mean, I wish it were that easy. Unfortunately, it isn't. And I will tell you a couple of reasons why not. First of all, thinking that this is all there is to employer branding literally makes your company miss out on such a lot of employer brand potential. A recruitment campaign cannot build your employer brand alone. I mean, it can shine attention on your recruitment need, and it can get you a lot of interest for that particular vacancy. But that interest is difficult to convert into any other value than applications to that specific recruitment campaign during that time when that campaign is on. You'll need to redo the campaign again to get applications another time for another need. Secondly, recruitment campaigning alone wins at most the attention of those job seekers who find your company interesting, but who are actively applying for jobs at the same time as your recruitment campaign. What if your ideal candidates are not actively on the lookout at the same time that you campaign? What if they miss your campaign and they miss this opportunity to get to know more about you? If you only market when you need to hire, who is to say that the people that you really want to hire are even changing jobs at the same time as you campaign? The third reason is that with social media and digital marketing, our human behavior has changed drastically. We are less willing to pay attention to anything that doesn't immediately seem interesting to us. Because of social media, we've lost so many reasons to visit anyone's websites or career sites or Google for employers. Unless your company meets your audience in the socials, they may never even know about you. We want more human interactions. We want to get to know organizations like they were people before we are willing to make a commitment. And the more experienced we are as talents, the more we want to minimize the risk of making wrong employment decisions, because we can afford that. So the more conventional way of employer branding does not respond to these needs, these changes of behavior at all. We make contacts and connections online in social media and pursue employers and talent acquisition people that we have become familiar with in social media. And if your company is not there, if you're not there as a talent acquisition professional, it's almost like you didn't exist. So the magnetic employer branding method, regardless of whether you pursue the actual, the modern employer branding framework or the instant employer brand accelerator framework, this method helps you to go where your target audience is, to build trust, to build relationships with your audience through content and conversations. So I want to tell you how this method works. So everything starts with making key decisions that we document into your company's strategic employer brand framework. And these decisions include: who are your key target segments for employer branding? What are your key goals for employer branding? What are the measurable objectives that tell you whether your efforts take you towards your goals? What are the key performance indicators that you use to read to assess whether you are reaching your objectives? And what are the desired employer brand perceptions so that you can define the key story themes for your employer brand marketing? And another important key decision is also: what media and channels should we focus on with this work? Because jumping from one to another will not cut it. You have to focus. So once you have these set in stone, our agency will help you to create your employer brand marketing plan, taking into account your career site content and your social media marketing content, helping you to build those desired employer brand perceptions in your target audiences. And this is, of course, followed by the actual implementation of the new employer brand strategy, the modern employer brand strategy, to those media and channels of focus, and in the form of the content you have planned to be created, published, and promoted. And because we're talking about data-driven employer branding and recruitment marketing, depending on obviously which of the two frameworks suits your needs better, weekly to monthly data analysis is imperative in learning what works, inspiring you to execute, and driving the results that you set out for. This is the only way really to stay motivated and become inspired of how you develop and what you achieve. So the method gives you the frameworks, the outlines, the layouts, and the systematic approach to implementing and executing your plans week to week. Let's talk about what success looks like when you commit to building your modern employer brand. When you have consistently committed to building a modern employer brand, success will follow in the following forms. You'll have highly engaged talent audience who advocates, recommends you to their peers, and engages with you and your content. The traffic to your website and career site content increases. You get to enjoy the perks of organic social media impact as your audience starts to advocate, starts to work for you. You regularly get inbound recruitment leads from talent that are a pretty good match to your hiring needs, to your company values, to your culture. And I have to say that as a B2B business ourselves, we also regularly get business leads and invitations to sales meetings from prospective customers as a result of this same branding work. Your current employees become better aware of your business values, your culture, your mission, your vision, your customer promise, where you are heading, as the same messages and content obviously are available, visible, and shared with them as well. And you can even use this framework to help shift your company culture or support the implementation of your new business strategy. You can very well cut down the time needed to spend onboarding and getting your new employees fully productive. I mean, in my business, applying this method for years, we went from onboarding and getting our employees fully productive, independent, taking, about 9 to 12 months, to only 3 to 6 months. So that was a huge time and cost saving for any business, not to mention a small business like ours. So what if you don't apply this framework and method and continue with the traditional acts of employer branding? It's important to take a look at that as well. So first of all, you're probably going to spend an awful lot of resources on marketing acts that are not converting your recruitment leads or helping your HR and leaders to engage and commit your employees to your business goals, to your strategy and culture. You need to recreate attractive enough recruitment campaigns every time you hire and spend much more time and other resources on acts that concern a very limited audience when you could invest the same amount or even less in reaching all your target segments. Content creation and social media marketing will get overwhelming and result in multiple random acts of ad hoc marketing, with each message containing little chance to convince and convert your target audiences. And you'll have no idea if any of this works because you don't have clear goals, you don't have measurable objectives, you don't have an understanding of how to measure the impact and the results of your traditional employer branding work. And that will be the reason why your company management is not going to grant you an employer branding budget either, because you don't have a case to prove them what you do is actually turning into gold for the business. With the modern approach, you will. So let me summarize you what the modern employer branding framework is. It's a strategic framework and a systematic marketing approach to building a magnetic employer brand as a result of consistent and regular content and social media marketing, which has goals, objectives, KPIs, and especially goals to convert value for a business. All of this is planned. All of this can be scheduled to save you lots of time and the pain of not knowing what on earth you should post this time. If you work in talent acquisition and you need to build the employer brand in unison with your recruitment campaigns, the sister framework, the Instant Employer Brand Accelerator, lets you accelerate your employer brand recruitment campaign by recruitment campaign, still maintaining the effectiveness of data-driven content and social media marketing. Now, I want you to do the next this thing. So I want you to go to my Instagram at Rantanen Susanna. That's at RANTANENSUSANNA. You'll find more information pinned on my profile and in the highlights under freebies or about this method on how to build a modern employer brand. Go there, get it, join my tribe, and start becoming inspired on how to build a modern employer brand. And If you want, you know that especially our clients in Finland or clients who are willing to work remotely, our agency offers very dedicated services on building the modern employer brand for you, from strategic approaches to creating content and supporting your marketing, as well as then the Instant Employer Brand Accelerator program, where we coach you to actually create everything in your recruitment process, to revamp your recruitment process so that you can start executing this independently. That's all for this week, my friends. So can you do me a favor? One of those good karma favors. Can you share this episode with 5 of your friends or colleagues who you think are likely to enjoy my podcast and find this episode useful? Because I want to grow the audience for my podcast, and I know you can help me with this goal, can't you? So simply just share or tag your 5 friends to let them know you have found this podcast useful and inspiring for you. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And come back next week for more branding, marketing, and communications juice to keep you going with employer branding, recruiting, and personal branding. My name is Susanna Rantanen, and I teach branding, marketing, and communications for the HR industry professionals who want to build a successful career and get the life you deserve. Thanks for listening. Until next time, moi moi.